Do you want to be a professional driver? If yes, worry no more. Send Driving, the finest among all, is here to turn you into a first-class professional driver. We are the Gambia's own solution when it comes to driving. Send Driving. We offer top-notch and affordable services that cannot be found anywhere. Rush now and start getting lessons from our competent tutors. Send Driving. Our services include one-day driving lesson 1 hour each day for $3,300 with a provisional driving license, 2 weeks driving lesson for just $5,000, 3 weeks for $8,000, 4 weeks for $12,000, and 5 weeks for just $13,000 with a provisional driving license. We are located at Tabokoto, opposite Ferry Junction. Send Driving, your success to safe driving.
Jiber labe dawra dro ngalu kondo ngalu jia alla programme to Ifang Bondi alnal badi malo modu lamin jamme bindi min bijang wala keda Ousman Jobarteh Gambia Port Authority la managing director Ousman Jobarteh ngi jia Ifang Bondi to bismillah Ousman iketa muti me yalon ko inata Gambia Port Authority kabiring February 1991 ye palasi jamal le marajang abul kono iketa yadati ning traffic officer yala inata iketa manager of traffic sti iketa director of operations sti iketa deputy managing director of the Gambia Port Authority for 2018 August kabiring coalition masakunda nada inate ke managing director Gambia Port Authority so njikita ko be ku jamal lon na Gambia Port Authority jang bari ibijan sanje tansa basay oto kamala menyin kar follow that la dame kabirita nata August 2018 expectation jamal leketa molye hamo soto ko ni Ousman nada abe do ko kelala men tambita sanyantade kabirita nada what have you done?
Okay, abaraka bake mon lamin pour la ñini karo content fanan pour que receive jang na office bi amante ko yalong management mu continuity de so ngamin ke jang it was all part of a process so amante ko ñinga jamano wala wodo la jamano because as public officer min ke jang bebe nyanta nafala soto banku ani banku mol so kabirin nata ngaje ko bagaso ani kulungo mikana ani marchandiso warata nyaadi comme place mawara wo nyaal so for that reason ku jamale soto mi ke dokol batani mi nyanta dokol samba nyato bari wo mankela along place kata ani marchandiso so maybe coming for drong mo lime ko increase confidence kunda yajele nika po gini sao sama konake ayela you pass through on transit so wo fanang seleta wole muna problem bari alhamdulillah kolbe ta nyato ani nga confidence so ko ning kana to warandi comme nga expect nyami
okay wokono fanan akuja mana moy asotota no wado la me alongo Gambia Port Authority under your leadership ye Trust Bank direct play instructional di Trust Bank lano ye kudo bondi Gambia Authority la account member Trust Bank la current account pour ye dalasi wili keme worowla wili tanna nani anin keme konondo dalas tannan nin killing $744,941 wala bota Gambia Port Authority la current account member Trust Bank kata Bafad Enterprise la account toto nyin ko do jota mune kama nse nyin kay do di la no de to do ba de be fellon na ko do
yes nyin ko comment tout demander parce que il a kafunyol ay nyin nga nyin projet ko nyin mune wo sabu atuta ko Inspector General of Police.
Yeah, understand.
I understand. Not cool understand.
Okay.
Inspector General of Police, I letter was a Port Authority. Ka Makoro Ngini. Aye police station, Jamale Soto in URR. Puka police station on Loje.
Station Jumalu, URR kono station.
URR station Sabalem. Kilimbe Fatwoto, Dobe Bakadaji, and Sabanjango be Mankamakunda. So I letter was a punga Makoro Ringini, punga Makwe Puni police station or because Alamol police officer Minka Dokoye, Aman Bulasoto, Pul Ala Doko ke Bake fan. So now work at a new request to water from IGP. So now administration, ya juve, and yala sondal purka macaroni ke police IGP le. So nying project sabale comme nga fo ñal nying gangbox le commandé because wole kanying doko sifale ke pour manchakunda and other institutions. So I have bill of quantities only, and design bay, and tender process. I have handled. So Atutako, this payment was just what we were supposed to pay one of the companies. Minyanta Jola Puruka police station loan, one of these police stations in the URR. So this payment was a part payment in that whole contract. So at that one, because IGP Makoro Ingeni, and authority on the consideration we gave, we accepted to build the 3 police stations for them.
So meaning Aleko $744,941 is at other part payment order puru police station sabo albe meloka.
Hali part payment le.
For police station sabo be.
For police station sabo hali.
But ngaminja ja wole nyende ko been paid for construction of police station at Mankamankunda. I always have it specifically Mankamankunda da malo.
Hadi.
Ama safeje come this payment is for 3 police stations. I mean ke je umbanja Mankamankunda.
Nka wole senende. Ko nying yalong dula sabale. Ani company sabale ka dula ka nying bungolelo. Office, accommodation, and other facilities. So nying payment to Bafat was a part payment in the whole project. But the project it was that project.
It was a payment meant for only Mankamankunda.
But 20%.
Mankamankunda. So meaning this part payment is indicating payment is meant for only Mankamankunda. Or a reflection.
But it don't for the other police station. The same system.
Yeah, Jole. But you know, Mankamankunda. But why forced payment Mankamankunda? Is it because President Oyalo jet? Why is Mankamankunda special in this?
And project Sabanjel be betala water be approve water killing because as I mentioned to you, Gamworks lay appoint come supervising consultant. So all this contract process atelier handle through Gamworks. But how long maybe project Lola atetala at the same speed because contract was Sabalem. Maybe one can mobilize faster than the other. But in payment 20% payment part of the project.
Okay, saying ko akaku yata bake bare Gambia Port Authority jang kuja malle be jang mel yalon ko imanke ya faham yal so ba jandimbe futala odo do mena talo yitan dilela lo ko do mel manke ya faham yal ngana kacha continent nyin na talo nyi ye nyinjal ibe nyinje kan jamu port la jonkon di sondal okay ye nyim fananjal jamu port la jonkon balal di sondal kodi okay ye nyim fananjal jambe port jonkon ledi jambe mo ports ledi kodi isondal ko jammi la premises ledi Gambia Port Authority kodi
bari do mu ferries
bara be ports la ko
abe on the ports
okay so ni ajibe nyin kamol la al halo be nyame Gambia Port Authority la dinkirabe nyame problème ol min bebi ja toilet kende man soto ja enough space man soto ja yajibe kalmal fango ka container left minna wol famu problème ol de ka to pan la le wato wati yena ajibe eta Ferry's landing site of la Silaka, pour Ferry Zelano, ya understand ports overstaffed, space o man sort of ports, problem jamal lebe ports ja. So problem will baby carrying. port se nya kaso problem mol be la tara police station o sponsor man kunda ni other places ite o ko be nyaade
bari nyanta kudole separate la because coming explain nyadi this Mankunda police was a special request from the IGP and ngake nyadi le yalong ports la infrastructure development Mansakundale Joro from African Development Bank under the third port project. So covering 2002, the African Development Bank wo julo aya Bondi Mansakunda kono. But the Ministry of Finance they still maintain the liability with the port. So carry every 6 months. Joro ke fununing julol. So amunta ko ning project ko the total cost of the project ni Mansakunda sita nka fa ko IGP la fita pour nga mako ni police station bari pour joro ni nene ma port la kodo ta yake for another project which is unrelated to the port activity. So asonta so this amount of loan that we are supposed to pay to government Ministry of Finance.
Okay.
So the whole project amount for the whole 3 police station nga offset against the loan balance from ADB. So Amanteko at the end of the day the authority was not financially at a loss in terms of financing the project because these are monies that we owe to government and we're supposed to pay every 6 months. So the whole project amount was deducted from that loan balance. So amunta ko na kodu fang mandung project ko. So
okay, but
wole keta.
Okay.
Bari coming yenetalo yemi itandi saying to nyalem na jonkonolem aning na ferry terminal. Particularly that one minul bebara. But maybe natalo eta watu juma aning sign tema nga place be data. And going forward nyanta private company le invite pour ayening maintenance of the toilet pour ya handle. Because ngamira jawale ka keje aning ming sulata ning toilet facilities along the passengers that are crossing from there. There are too many to handle at some point. So ngajele ko maybe if you give it to a private company, it will be better managed. So those are the things that we are looking at. Bari nying netalo yemi itani tonyalem na toilet bari wo watu mandada for bari sign tema nga ku bele dada.
Okay, sign bari na question mba murun la ko renga kam da ko ma faham ya ba. Ya long ni problemo be ya. Janni bo problemo ibita problemo solve la ba. Nga inyanda wala solve la folo. Ko be force janni
abe jang hali sa
isonda problem wolte banna jang ila kalmal hayna jane kadu pan le kalma flashan nung ali distia kalmal ni mambedia ka fenkol fa lift is a problem almost 11 kalmasi bela ka pan container ke lift is a problem dol bije bukela container sorono because of that problem o dol bije nana da infrastructure nana da kudo la the spacing of the ports kamol kudo ol bem problem so janni be kodo tala ka samba kadi police station pour ko woliye fa on nafaaje wol bela nafaale non munati nete mera dinkira de da folo
nka na dinkira pour ya dada amanke ku mingi yake ibekela bi ani ku be sonhala. Some of these things there's a lot of procurement issues involved bari comme misalo ya minki na machinol nga 11 kalma le soto to nyalem bari nyin kalma they are not on downtime, they don't rest yalong comme nga for come to demand ban min kana jang a warata anin palaso ma wara bake so wole nying machine le batandi bake ban for example nying machine aka operate nyami in a typical layout a nyanta soto la 15 meters between container pour ka move easily bari container min ka handle jang palaso is about 63,000 square meters of space we have. And the volume container mean yanta stack laje 1,580 in a normal stacking pattern. But the lungo mi kata terminology ibe more than 3,000 container le so wole ni congestion le sambana space all theater. So machine pour ka operate back wole ka batandi back and in kulungo yang aka do ko la 24 hours len doko test stop la no and machine pour ka fanang draw pour ka maybe gas oil okay or maybe bus hydraulic pipe or electrical system pour ka repair wo fanang be time tala bari every year kari wo sanji wo sanji nka na budget fango nka provisional ke pour ñing machine le sang killing the cost la about 490,000 euro each. So ñing kotama mi asang amame bake
ali this year
ha fula ay electronic say we are on virtual contact with the suppliers in China and nga dale say electrical problem them.
Okay,
but amate ko machine on
okay, let me cut you there. Kabiri kata kalmal sang ini nyumal leta da kasa nyola
and public procurement. It was public procurement, a tender. So the international companies were bidding ke, and in evaluation okay, samba GPPA with our recommendation, and in min yalonko min sonta and in technical specification, and in price only is reasonable. In kawale di business but nena mantaj dolato pour ka machinology be pour ka foko sulata ni la sulata ni. Ni be machinol san la, be specification be dada. Ya publish newspaper kono, and in min interest soto. Only fanange ila submission okay ya bid and then we do the evaluation and me yalonko na specification and it will me offer we and in price is reasonable nka wala di business.
Okay, janni bida question do sai la fala nga nyin dula senen ison dale ko komen janni be tala ka Gambia police force ma ko kam police station bill man kam kundani order two places melbe bolonkono ila dulado nyanda development o nyanda focus la wolde folo ila kamol de da ila dulal de da janni bita dulado
be woto wala tina nga fa
dal ko le nyanda kala
no be wokela lungo be wokela yalo nga kabiri nga je ko bagasol ni min ka marchandise o min kana yang a warata ani place o duyata yalo pour ka port expansion okay nyanta studies jamale ke so na in 2018 nga tender ke pour consultancy service for a new feasibility study and in July 2019 wo banta ani masakunda yesonko port nyanta warandila because bagasol palaso man wara ani bagasol so be woltema bari wo kata to a public procurement ani be nina development partners be ning doko lekere because kodomin sulata pour kanyin doko atambita $100 million for maybe 3 components I can cite. Puka wafole extend by 345 meters and in pur ning half die quartal yalong por be molbe siringjang and in puka expansion ke bakono wo koleata because and there's a lot of siltation so our natural expansion wolatina ko punga ta in half die ngawo cordal sang nga bongole boindi ani nga place ole warandi pour ka container terminal ning lol womu about $8 million estimate ani wa fonying about $60 million wole mula estimate and the third and most important component is saying the volume of business we are handling here at the port atambita 130,000 containers in a year. So the industry ngamin doko immediately you need to invest in IT systems for the documentation and goods handling process. So be wolto ani be maybe niaje foraya kono newspaper kono iba advertisement on jela for our environmental and social impact assessment study because ni be doko la ni African Development Bank, European Investment Bank janni be la kodo jola inyanta environmental do be ya study back ya fahamu back parce que back on for example pour kanying paylo londi pour wafonying dada anyanta ku jamale study je so mbe wolto bari inshallah janni atemela do ko be na start la commencer la jang pour ka wafol anin place be ya warandi bari wobe time tala bari na budget o fang coming ke for operational efficiency improvement nka wole ke lungolung sanjo nka sange bari machino buka na fasoto because they are all the time engaged so amante ko tol masulata punga hanibe 100 machine sang BBB it will not bring any immediate improvement because the layout is not amenable for easy operation with this type of machine.
Okay, but I son dale ko comme iga men voden ka kamo da gena sono yata ka police station for la phone.
Kamo kay nga dara wo mu tonyalde because kamo na public me can serve wole can use I think Kamo Fanang is very important. So we will not underestimate that. Because it's when people have called to nature, they need the facility. I want to go even on the terminal, but even on the ferry and everywhere.
But still, you don't have enough toilets around. Still, pour ni mil na report jam pour kada kamura ka ke problem multi.
Public toilets bijang.
But they are not enough.
Well, nga kutamale dara sign project all londi jana container terminal not transit container be dulamento. Toloto beje bari wo tingata because around this area the water table is very high because it's near to the sea. So near septic tank okay. Ate mela abe fala. Hani bara wolo muna problem. Lungo lunga nying septic tank company Gomez Trading wala 5 na Bondi. Lungo lunga kanaja. So there's a technical issue, but we're trying to see how we can resolve the problem with a permanent solution. But come here from Yamin, it's very important. We will not leave our customers to not have facilities as basic as toilet.
Customer man happy. Anu mol kanyim boro mingeden kabo fengoro wedding room ro kada ferry ro. Nyimeda kala janne. Siata sanji tannan design. Mol katu borla ni ferry ada. Mol be borla do. I mean, you have traveled around the world. You have hamyal. You must have seen mol ka keje nyame. You don't need to hustle pour kata. What is Gambia Port Authority doing pour ka nyindang?
Nying environmental study nga fo nyani comme mi be wa fo le extend la. Abe ferry site le mala. So saying right now nga project dole lo pour ka jibe fo nying ferry terminal nga sembendi nyato domali. Bari nga ku jamale je because comme nga fo nyami jamu estuary ni be for ta ferry terminal yalo maybe around Gambia has come afang je the waves are very strong and you need a very stable environment for doing ferry or pour ka sembendi in a very easy manner. So bari going forward project going abe wol mala bari terminal lo the layout, the configuration wala mo problem te comme ya fo nyami maybe just a typical example is Sierra Leone ni be ferry ni be sela ferry it alone for be ferry kono because ay special passageway le soto pour passengers and special passageway pour ñi mbotol ñi so bari o ma soto ñam because of the way the terminal is laid out bari nga miracle this new project nga mi lo abe wol call jube pour nga na mol min ka training na ferry call say sonia aning aka improve or undocumented payments bari na administration nka wole fight aning inte da tolerate la so nga public notice le ke even our tariff we publish it for consignees to know that ning aning le nyanta jo porola bari ni be na porola yalong amanke GPA damale ka dokole ke jang man sakunda agency jamale ka doko ke in the process of good clearance so mbuka wala doko male bari min consent in told we are fighting with our people to ensure that they don't extort money and then the consignees coming they don't give them the chance even to offer nemo mota yeah okay we have disciplinary procedures and it's on record that we have disciplined staff for unwanted behavior because that's not what we have as our code of conduct and as our ethics. But in the city, young yalong ku jama buka ku bebe long. Maybe come ite ye ku moy ye na ye inform. Ani be action like kela. Bari ngamira pour kanying call Bondi system okono. We have to have less human interference. Wala tina nying na nying port digitization project. Important tabake kumaya tabake ibe sitting ila office or ila laptop ila transaction to beke online anima ite mojila so that will minimize or even eliminate the possibility of any interaction to extort or to solicit or even to ask. But from a personal point of view, I believe this corruption issue is an attitudinal problem and ni nyanta falila mo be nyanta ila bloke je minka service ole nyini and minka service ole offer, so it's a collective responsibility and together we can minimize it to a level that it will not be a problem. comme nga fo ñaan situation wo le create la because baso le warandi ani place o ma wara ani mo mi kana jang seata ani mo be hagi ni nata don la fetal la container la Bondi ani ibe ta office to office system o system ni e wo Bondi ibe siri la office o la online transaction o be ke inata poroto don yela bagasol chika ya samba and in going forward some of these projects that's why they are important e ka fo ko off stock facility so ko me human interference soto nga saundi banda so wo be ni problème talala bake fan
okay sa ngana nga ports fan kono jibe a soto tan kendindo be nun alla accounts department di ka fa Mohammed Gay ay tiñar jama ke num ports aburata fraudulent activity dolle kono ports nada kalamude nada police ol dadum dije Mohammed nada absco nada barabe banko kan jande so and he is working freely so ports be muneke kan about this ning atra ports interest or pour corruption or by
ha na system ol soto mi lonko ni kulung nata anin joro nyata ke from shipping company na invoice ole send by vessel so tarako at the end of the day a statement ole soto for a particular agent and I wole suppress can for some of the items so I wole ke bari kabing kalamoto it was merely from an internal audit report. The report was not even finalized but ni ajero nga fay kwa nyinde kule mi alon ko nyanta question la munemula quote ay mo soto pour ka explain so ay ça fait okay so ni ça fait okay yalok administration mo process leti nyanta mol nyini ka pour ay fam Bondi comme il a programme to yeah so I explained ko it was an error on his side and shipping company now all fanan query and ay kodole murundi port and yalon comme kodole so I don't know the amount at the top of my head but I believe it's somewhere around 140,000 euro something like that
euro
yes okay. From 3 different shipping companies
okay
so nga na ministry inform nga na board inform and nga recommendation ke pour nga forward to the Inspector General of Police for fraud investigation so nga wol beke and just recently na board of directors yalong kabi every 3 months nga board meeting leke so one of the action points wol pour nga update ke about this fraud investigation so nga board inform ko nga reminder send to the IGP pour asi update dina pour about this fraud investigation case but the IGP will handle like
so investigation on banda famamba
hani amambam folo
yeji ko so ko fembe findilaje
yalong police ayela do ko long ani nga kayto be yitandila so kawole batu pour ka information no dila bari comme nga fo nyami every 3 months we reported the board and one of the things that we needed to report was on the outcome of this fraud investigation so we showed evidence to show that we reminder sent to IGP for the outcome of the fraud
okay there are strong allegations ko ite fango shipping company be bulle and agency clearing agency fanam be bulu ite fango
ngawol
o allegation ol be nyaade
ngawol long ila kafunyo comment to demanding ay vous fanang you question ole they asked me the same question
yeah
but ni ala tema ngana tonya do wrong fo I have no relationship with any shipping company. I did not establish any clearing forwarding agency. But as a public officer, I mean, I'm accessible to any Gambian that is doing lawful business. But no undue favor or all the dues that are supposed to be paid to reports have been paid. And personally, I have no involvement in any shipping company or clearing agency.
But it's said that sometimes you give special treatments to Hamidou Ja, a friend of Ja Oil. Wadi doli kala smento ka jambe ports be kankandile buka femfo ka bulaje wonyama because ila friend make a special treatment.
Oil mu businessman lete. Port la friend because aga bagaso le samba na nyimbanko.
But ita la friend.
Ngalo ne. But yalong pour ka more classify comme friend. Maybe you have something personal. But our relationship is purely professional. Because he's a customer of the port and we are here to serve all customers. But personally, I have no relationship with him. Okay. aning ala kulungo pour nga sembendi pour to give them priority. Aka kulung mi wara bake le some of this cement. Cement product. Aning aye investment okay for this hopper system for the discharging. So all kadwoko le nga sembendi dolaming at the port because we have about 2 PS. The old wafning, because the size of the hopper aning doko bakatara nyani. Jang don le sutiata pulka doko le kejang. So wala tina time in kasembendi wala. At times to wole ka aka happen comme kulung dolbeje aning jawol nata maybe min nata follow nga wol tuje nga jawol sembendi. Bari was just an isolated case because Tarako sometime in March, April, cement shortage then in Bangkok. And the government authorities wrote to the port and asking for our intervention, how we can assist to accord them priority so that it will at least alleviate the shortage that is in the town. So that was the isolated. But anytime he come, he will kill like the others. And then he have a special bat only where he can work. So natara ko kulundol nata ani wo te kunnaje ani jawol te kunnaje ani wol nata follow ni jawol so mol je ako iye jawol amaka woti internet buka it's a queuing system we have in the port.
Okay, I don't cut you. Do you want to proceed?
No, sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Kulungol kana mel wata ja oil tati. So why ja oil special treatment kadi ja oil?
No, amante ko nga special treatment la jawol comme nga fo nyami ala kulungo. The only way where they are fit to work with the type of hopper system for the discharging is only at the wharf we call Old Banjul Wharf, bat number 1. The other bat, they are specifically for container ships, and those ones they are given priority. We will not give cargo priority over container. This happened Konga for Nyami during March, April. This cement coal, there was a big shortage in town and there was a big outcry. So that time, the government authorities engaged us and we gave priority to cement. That was the only situation. But anytime Jar oil comes, it will kill like everybody else.
But Aladula be pollute, and environmentally that is not good. So what are you doing about that?
Yeah, we challenge him on a few occasions and it's on record. But I believe he's been trying also to improve because the first time it happened that the hopper system, they have a dust containment measure called a suction system. Wole tinyata ala follow. Nga kulungole funti wafo. The time that happened, nga kulungole bondi wafo kono. So anyanta atata expert will fly in from I don't know where. So we not. And in the kulungole sembenti, the other time it improved. But the environmental concern is still there. You're right, but we are still engaging him. And Ngaminke come authority, apart from the environmental hazard, so we are putting an environmental levy on top of his invoice to pay for some of this hazard. But as you rightly said, the environmental hazard, the damage may be to human. You cannot quantify that, and it's even more costly than whatever you can put in terms of estimate to the spillage on the wharf or the waters, or because if the spillage is too much in the water, at times dredging leak. So we charge him for all that, for the extra cost that we are incurring to dredge the activity. But we will keep engaging him to improve because this operation, I don't see it scaling down because I investment okay for this hopper system. We will continue engaging him so that we'll have a proper discharge system that will contain the dust, particularly.
Do you take bribe from Hamidou Dia? You bribe to Hamidou Jabul?
Honey.
Honey. Or a bulk vessel Mario, you can bribe to Abul?
Honey. There is no.
Do you take bribe?
Honey.
You can bribe to
Honey.
All right. You don't give priority to bulk vessels over container vessels. But I dispute that. There are times when container vessels were forced to stay for more than 15 days after a bulk vessel or BJ, and that is loss of revenue.
It was the same period, March, April. I think it was during Ramadan, and these same government authorities engaged us that we need to give priority to people bringing bulk, essential commodities. It was particularly for rice and wheat flour only. A exceptional situation where nga kulung container kulung for eco pour ay chance dina pour nga ñi bulk cargo le discharge. So you're right. It happened, but only during that period, and it's because of requests from government authorities that we give priority to essential commodities. And in us Saferoke pour shipping company, pour ya lonko, it's a very transparent transaction. We did not hide anything from them. We informed them that because of the high demand of essential commodities, particularly rice and wheat flour at that moment in the year, we will give priority to the bulk cargo. And in Amanteko, the whole port was bulk cargo. It was maybe about 80% of the batch were with bulk cargo. But container Kulungo, we reserve one space for them, at least to minimize the waiting time for them, because we know the business. Container Kulungo, in shipping, they call liners. Time Jamali spend when they are in port. So that's why they are very time sensitive. But the bulk cargo, Kafaya called tramp vessel. Worker maybe just turn in a katem puka business all sort of. So ala hajo market killing. These container ships, they are more time sensitive. And that was an isolated incident. And later on, all the shipping lines in container business, and in Italy. But it was just for that period.
Okay, there are strong allegations because sometimes a priority the bulk vessels over container vessels simply because it could bribe the business tycoon or bulk vessel.
And what Ifang, I don't work like that, and there's nobody that can come to claim that nga bribe letter putting container bulk cargo purga container kulungole bula bakono. And what as I explained, we have a queuing system. And in me was a priority the bulk over container. During the Ramadan period, only one. But it's saying nibe do port. Iba jela ko container full be dokola. And in bulk killing mano abe dokola. So what we try to do is the number one bar, because of the draft, is about 9 meters. And in container kulungi akana with 11 or 12 meters. So so that bar is specifically reserved for bulk cargo.
Okay, hanika bimbe corruption also. Gambia Port Authority jang. Bribery menkata kalma do kula la fannala a wartale. Manum faya kalamuta fay ma kalamuta. Bribery menka ke kalma do kula la fannala a wartale.
Menka machinol
operate. Manum faya kalamuta fay ma kalamuta. Because membije I will allow you to come. Membije na research me dan wolem nyindiko wadi dol pour melni ka container ki ka bonam banku dol do kana Gambia jang wadi dol pour yela container soto fa ka problème otle fo se fendi nyin kalma mel ka nyin container shift ke lift tank fo se fendi la pour yete la container ya prioritize non de wo buka ken anda ka ta rete nyanda min be jola Gambia Port Authority yojo nyanda min be jola GRA yojo o kola fanan kalma do kulal mel yalan ko be container sikala ka landi blado do wol fanan sa fo yela container ni man nyinjo de nyindile.
Okay, pour ila nyinkal jabila. Come ngafo in the beginning. Space lema wara wala tina this problem of maybe solicitation, extortion. But both sides lem. Minka nyinika ani minka di. Bari
jobade mbaringe kuntu
na staff.
Mbaringe ngana jobade mbe alawla lena. Let me cut you there. Niya janke nyininka nyinna. Nyimu kulet me alon ka meta janne baki. Ya faham yal. Andu mol ya complain le iba complain kay meta complain andu iba complain lan fana namam ya faham ya because ni la joro ko Gambia Port Authority pare de data GRA nyanda min jola ya bejo fa pare e meli alon ko Gambia Port Authority la staff le be payroll every month ike jola wol ko ena e fendi na yendu ko janni benna container tal wobi janne andu ngajele andu ngamoyle fana. So what are you doing about this to stop that?
Ko wole jabila ko
okay
na staff I don't encourage any staff to go and extort money from any consignee to lift their container. Ejorobe ke port ani ofanang ala karijo ngajole for Tuesday te tola koma. Anytime we receive any report, nga staff will dismiss jang for nyinkola. Ama me bag. And lungolum nkata round ka mol sensitized. Nga fa ko to attitudinal problem lem. Ani pour ka eliminate nyanta change agents la soto awo kono na operator fana ya nyini ka mone muna any report we have for anybody extorting money for to leave a container you are disciplined in line with the administrative process to nyalem abejang bari we are doing all that is reasonably possible to eliminate it because it's not fair and abe marchandise so I mean at the market because not a port all the expenses you incur. You are not in business to lose money. You will just go and put it on the retail price. So they have to be sensitized. Some of these things that you are even harming yourself because you kodol ta mul. Wo fanang ni la bagasol futara ala dulat. Abe nying price ole la fa pour ala expenses ya be recover. So anyanta educate la bari inteta sila no kanying jube going on and on. I cannot system all the vanilla is still the same. And maybe you can come back and tell me. But we have it as a policy. And we sensitize our staff and do it personally. Go around and talk to them and understand that at times some of these efficiencies, they are just built, they are man-made, just to extort money from people. And we are not going to tolerate that. But the bottom line is that practice will make that we don't until we remove it from our system. Because I heard the complaint, like you said. Molke called from America, from Europe. Alabagazol narayang molke koloni pura container chicken. Now operators be life. I can call all of them. We see that. The same thing I mean fire. My file wonyal.
Okay, ngana Ferry he asia la mo ale line on him follow. Yetara lo nje pour ka mo do je mi ala nga federal dron ay du ko ke duma dro moto ni bula mari e tambi même bije wo setara je kabrin somonda fotilo e boy, which is not fair. Son dala ko fana man correct.
Yeah, same problem nga nying report don't they to dive on the confusion. Yeah, Jeleko, maybe with capacity. There is a backlog of customers both in terms of motor and in passenger. So what they can prompt. But in that time people need to provide service for which tariff is published. So we will not rest until we make sure that we remove this extortion from our system. But I will have to because we get the complaint. But at other times, maybe rangokono. Abuka understand ko maybe mulnata me sasata or maybe a diplomat or maybe tourist me a priority sort of. So or maybe there is somebody that is maybe a dignitary or that is given priority. So near olje akabo rangoko ibaji miracle maybe mole kododi. At times too that happen, but generally the complaint is there. And lonko we will continue engaging our staff, sensitizing them because they cannot complain because they have their monthly salary. So they have to do a good job and serve your customers because we are public servants. Any action we take should people positively and not in the negative way. And that's our mantra, and we will not stop until we make sure that our customers see an improvement.
There are strong allegations because sometime last year, you have 5 million lady president from the coffers of Gambia Port Authority. Is there a reaction on that?
No, we don't have that system where we give monies to State House to the president. No, there has not been any request from President's office to give money.
Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure. Ba plan kang pruka lansino di private ferry company la pour operate between Banjul and Mbara. Sila mira lo muna din
Ha company ning anata jang bari intol fanang nga ning project ole commercial. sometime last year nga board paperless affair pour nga board inform the sustainable management and operations of ferries needs a new rethink. Ibajele ko along the river Bakono, Ning Bridgeol, Akana, and in Wolemu, the way going forward. So this to sustainably operate the ferries is a problem. And in Trans-Gambia, Muna highest revenue Anna. So covering Bridgeolelo in January 2020, Yajeleko, the answer that we were having from the Trans-Gambia is no more there. And the staff owning is still on our payroll. So 2019, Ferry profit all year, but in 2020, miracle losses like because of the bridge called the bridge will be far from inside. So near OJ, Kaitole it and in a board for a new strategic corporate plan for the ferries. So what are cool is that? And in advertisement look paper kono pour more me nyanta interest sort of pour either partnership, joint venture, or to come and manage and operate the ferries. So Kabini work at I think about 5 companies bid, and I think they were basically all from Turkey, and one of them, which is Negma, another acquire interest at all. So untata ni na minister ani na board be kacha, but the optional me ya land the table kono woman came. So wala tinanga fa ko hani this concession will not work. So all murutan atata ye another approach here, because Kabiri Nata in February, we signed off on an 8 memoir for 5 options. Follow mu na Ferry minu bejang kanila kutakinde aning johe. Parce que ay interest sota pour Banjul Bara. Wo nyanta machine ole aning propulsion system ni le falling. Aning on each ferry you need about 120,000 and thereabout for one engine and one propulsion system on each ferry, and for each ferry you need 4 for the 3 ferries. So Kodi Jamal. So Latina, I mean, ferries can rely mostly on ports for support. And in ports, I have a problem for all sort. So for government we have to look at how to sustainably manage and operate ferries going forward. So wale nyinko sambana. So saying, maybe the partnership, we did not even go deep in the negotiation, but I think it's premature to conclude that near license or dimola abe ferries ole fa o na staff o ate abe baila do ko hani na discussion on si wala yalong this they just express interest and they are applying for a license to operate, and ning license okono there's a lot of due diligence and ticking of boxes better wala on the impact it will have on the ferry nyanta wala kachal but you must follow. Maybe people are just jittery and panic, but as a responsible organization, we are running a public service, and we are aware that the infrastructure needs investment in terms of the ferries and the landing bridge and the passenger terminal, the ticketing system, the queuing, the security. And we know also that we have a huge staff complement, because now the bridge is not there. About 600 staff will be on our payroll, and we are still managing them. And then there's the provincial ferries, also needs investment. So ni bol nata ko lafita partnership for ferries. These are the things we'll bring on the table. But the discussion follow. But Tonyalem, I license application no le process through government. But it's just one of the 5 options ngamin kachani. But then for the public to be jittery, because in terms of public service letting, at the end of the day, we will negotiate a deal that will be beneficial to government and the public, because we have a responsibility. So for say kana worry back in kono, but mi mutonyalti, mola fita ferry kutola, mola fita ni nata banjul obara pour yete conveniently, mola fita pour ni nata amanyana pour ta rangoto ye motol bondi for, wo be lack of capacity. So near more sort of they are coming to add value. Maintain the tariff, maintain your staff, invest in the provincial ferries. So but
okay, all right. In 2017, covering President Baronada, aketa president oti ala hido di ko abe banjul bara bridge lale nin ko be larin fal jumale ko
amanko directly na responsibility but come told me public servant le ani information jamale sete come itere because we are in the public service in the public domain. The information is there for every responsible officer to be aware of what is government strategy and policy. But there's a lot of solicitation from multinational companies. Me interest sort of puka bridge olelo between Banjul and Bara.
Wo idea, good idea lang for
good because Bankola nafale for fana mutonyali. Ya long ni company nyanta na puka investment okay. This huge infrastructure investment. And in a lifespan minimum 50 years lem. So puka investment okay and in returns on the investment for this type of project nyanta studies malike bari manke follow bari ngamin long all ko there are companies that are interested but they need to do like a feasibility to know what is the demand and to see whether the investment is viable. But as a government project of strategic so the return on the investment. At times in transport, the infrastructure itself is an enabler. It entices growth because inebe bridge ole lola jang. Molba lona ko jay sai puka ta Banjul from Bara. Coleman kole abake. So wo fanan be growth le induce la. Wo fanan bije. So that's why there is another argument in appraisal when it comes to infrastructure. They don't allow the market so demand infrastructure to show that well there is traffic to justify investment. 800 million is required to build the bridge, and what amount of time and the traffic can you recover investment. So if you look at that angle, a lot of people shy away from the investment. But you look at the other dimension to spur growth and also to serve our people because here the river divides the country into two. And more nyanta cross la between Banjul and Bara for social reasons. Amanteko maybe students are crossing, agricultural workers are crossing, health officers are crossing, security. This they need. So Amanteko maybe just the financial returns you look at this investment, but it's a good idea and government be will give a camp. But at the end of the day, nyanta studies back because now information also to the shortest route to bridge between Banjul and Bara. Amanteko maybe in Banjul and Bara specifically. There are other locations that can be looked at. And jang nibe bridge ole lola jang. Inyanta kulungol minka na nyanta will factor in the maybe height of the bridge or the span. So nyanta ku jamale jube kang. So bari studies ning abeta kang. And there is another dimension to this bridge call. Me mol nyanta lona. There's what we call the Trans-Africa Highway number 7 and it links between I believe Lagos to Dakar and it's an AU project and also at the regional level it's also an ECOWAS project where currently Ngalonko a 6 highway lane is already in operation between Lagos and Abidjan. So Nyanta will ignoring the Purkat na for Banjul. This is an ECOWAS head of state decision. So the bridge calling a year dimension for Lesotho. But the challenge is if you have to link all the West African capitals, Cape Verde is an island. So in Nyanta sea link Lesotho. And in Banjul, Nimbara, river bridge lelo. So Ning project or give the other dimension. But it's an AU project, Trans-Africa Highway number 7. It's an ECOWAS project for regional integration and also Fanang, our own country, is our strategic national project to make sure that there is connectivity between the North and the South Bank.
Okay.
But very good project, good idea.
Okay, la diamo ko ne ko mol ka batani ka cross ka bo Banjul kata Bara wala ka bo Bara kata Banjul. O man fo la ferry kotol ko made. When are you doing away with the old ferry se kuta mal fena?
Coming ngafo nyami. Right now near newspaper leje. Ibe request for proposal jele wokono mi alonko nyanta consultant dole samana pour ye ning environmental condition be jube ani wokono ni be wafole warandi abe feriole mala So nying ferio nyanta sauni la purkata maybe towards the Kapa or behind the Alban Market. Be studies le kono. So mbe wole jubele ani awo kono ferry kutol abewo is part of the specifications that we put. It's a whole project. Amante ko maybe ports dorong dem. Bari shipyard beje, ports beje, aning ferries beje, aning na Bond Road area.
Okay. Ngana kudo.
Aning base fana, base dry port fana.
All right, great.
So cool beje.
Okay. Ngana kudo do fana. Of recent year increment ila dokula la salary to. Bari kodol bije meli ala hani kabi mantima. Wolam dok waka sol la fannala. 28th of July 2021 ye protest ke pour que la balamba ya yitandi benefit sol la fannala meli ala wul nyandana la manna medical ball kono medical benefits staff o dol ka medical benefit soto jang department o dol doko kasma so muno saw
me amuronde command don pour ngako litande pour ya understand the context in which we are operating. Staff or more pensionable staff on the social security, but the dock workers are a system of different regime because ning system abeloring jang kabiring wofanang toma wulu follow 1963 Labor Ordinance Act allowing dock workers the system wale lo jang. So ya jele ko at that time there was no specific law that bind them to the port. So presumably they have this job life. So what any problem or some for be. But me to come. Nyanta wol murindila ate amanda fasoto. So ngami for na kafunyol dok workers na dokas kebal ko. Sai ngata because dunia be tambila. 1963, 1970 coming post lota ni problem be je. Tonya na staff la joro nga lafa bari amante ko it's plus it's natural that it's an entitlement and nga benchmark okay ning because we are a state-owned enterprise and na joro be they are streamlined, so amante ko maybe somebody has to take benefit for that. I mean it's people work and they work in difficult conditions, have to be compensated and also motivated. So on that I think and not to the management as per se, because they are working on different conditions, they are difficult conditions. But the poor ning dockers like cabining yalong I don't like comparison because management is continuity. But minul bejang cabining masakunda kutol lotai kari wo kari ngala. So atarako maybe the timing na staff hole nenema na staff hole joro lafa since 2006 cabinet policy nada na staff ma na joro ma there was no increment so far fanam net so ni na dokas kafunyol ya ye wole bari amante ko because every time ngasi nga kacha on the collective nga ning ala general welfare conditions so le amante ko problem bakel comme mo le fo banta bari atara ko there is evidence to show some from up to 355, 50, 69%. This and in a consultant sort of from Ghana called Benom Consult. So Wobenala on the 23rd of this month. I invite la for yeng validation workshop will go over. All problem only. I am complain every day.
Okay.
Because they are doing a very important work in the port and they are exposed to harsh, external conditions and the environment.
So ila
medical cover, risk allowance, and ila doko puts ila welfare improve. We are committed. That's why we have we are implementing a project. But the way we want to do it is like to set up a subsidiary cargo handling company because what system will be port Jamal and in Ghana will be lorry. Put dockers only as a shares will sort of in company. So ibajela ko na key labor because there is a division Wolf and Bay productivity affected because salaried workers are on the ground receiving the containers. But dock workers are back on, they are wage earners. So for them, the higher the output, the greater their earnings. But for the staff, whether you work 12 moves, 20, 30 moves per hour, it's the same end of month pay. So there is what we call disunity in their command. So what Latin new system, I've been falling, Jamaleke will improve their lot and also improve productivity. And in work on staff on the ground. Bal mix learning need dog workers. And in concerning Mika Kulungol Soto for this bulk, I can't leverage all the in the. It's not even safe. What insurance is covering them? So left it as Jamal system Nyanta Falina. Amante ko dogo dorong la nafale. What important? But the other aspect too. And in Minul be what is proactive in the whole arrangement is they have shares in the company that is going to be set up. So they will control what is going to be their welfare and elder condition. And it's not change to go back, it's change to move forward. There's a lot of opportunity.
Discussion ola dadidula ngenyi nka fair question da kabrite na de muneke. Ngenyi nka ola bari na complaint soto na research kono ko komen kabrin Jobarteh na da man fenke ports. Ila reaction munede.
I'm a public servant coming out for Nyani. So I don't like drawing comparisons or making analysis. But I mean, it's strange credit that you will see 16% growth in the volume of business for the past 3 years, and the facility is not growing. I mean, you cannot just work magic like that. And infrastructure improvement in port takes time. And I don't want to take personal credit for anything. I'm just a public servant, and me motivate any action we do should impact positively on our people's lives. And we are an economic operator. All the inefficiencies, me and you and my sibling, my citizen countrymen, we are going to feel the pinch. Yeah. So our activity should go towards reducing overall cost of doing business in Banjul to make the goods affordable to our citizens, and also encourage the transit business, because most of the cargo that comes here goes to third countries. And transit, Sambala, Dulami, Alonko, the systems are favorable to the business, from the environment to the security to the charges to everything. So I will leave that for others, but I would not encourage any public servant to be judged on, because that's what you are paid for in the first place, to do make impact positively on the people's lives. So wole muna motivation aning man tuske bari nga miro jamale soto minka ning place wole samba nyato aning bankole nafal si waran.
Okay, a transit fo jang inyanda men soto la ports jang ibuka be soto ila reaction mo mune de
bari statistics all beje mia lonko abal jela ko in 2019-2020 the transit business alone grew by more than 102%. So malo maybe information ka bodami bali me sotota nga soundile, because the place they were occupying
and they are not happy with that.
Yeah, was in the middle of the operational zone.
Now you're coming.
Yeah, but if you look at the port, Kulungo ka Sembeni Dulamito, and the storage terminal, there's a distance to cover. And any encumbrance in between would affect the ship, because the ships are our number one priority. Putka Kulungo Doko, ka Funti, Kulundol Singana. So, yeah, Ibajela ko nibe container transport la from the wharf to the storage terminal. Aka 20-30 minutes Kenya. Transit activity has a lot of human interference. Troko nying minka bu bini bisa animali awarandi ani aka sirole block. So wala tina, in port layout, any activity me alonko aye human interference soto. Wo nyanta saundela koma. Minde nyato wo dorong food kulmo la doko dorong le. So onka wole implement. Maybe amandia tela, because they have been used to this place. But na Saudi Dulamento, it's a temporary measure, and going forward we are going off dock. Come now for follow. All the activities, used vehicles, transit, Balsamundila Banta. Well, maybe in the next 2-3 years, the port will be just machines and the ships and the containers. anything dealing with human interference, you come in to pick your cargo, Bond Road, and even Abuko, even up to Basse Dry Port. That's the whole idea. In the beginning, they don't like it because, there's resistance to change everywhere. But now manage it. And nying falling road, inka mole kumandi. So we don't impose it on them. Ngasi nga kacha. Nga problem jube, and kulungol fanang ay complain. Jamal soto ko ala kulungol te be mela jang. And problem Portland problem soto. Because trailer nying minka container bo from Ferry terminal. Abe me akamela silokan. And wo fanang mutonyal.
Okay, in terms of development, what do we expect from Gambia Port Authority?
Infrastructure improvement, because cabinet master plan on in 2019, I jubeko Banjul Mawara Bake. And in problem Jamal ka Saba. And in Banjul Kapunul ama content, come nanying expansion. But in fire ko as kana worry because ning consultant I jubeko maybe to get bit but the other decision, primary recommendation, the invest for Kutole loan je between Bijula to Jere at $100 million, and in the traffic demand for the next 20 years. Near Jube. It makes more economic and improve the port in problem Jamal. But in port construction, usually 18 months minimum. But alhamdulillah, na dokol ning commence. Jani next week, contractors ning fanang ala tender documents, bal publish that on the newspapers because we are working with partners, as I said, and all these activities have to go in line with regulation.
Very much. It's a pleasure having you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Do you want to be a professional driver? If yes, worry no more. Driving, the fight is among all, is here to turn you into the first professional servicing for just $3,300 with a provisional driving license, 2 weeks driving lesson for just $5,000, 3 weeks for $8,000, 4 weeks for $12,000, and 5 weeks for just $13,000 with a provisional driving license. We are located at Tabokoto, opposite Piccadilly Junction. Send driving, your success to safe driving.